Hey guys, Jakob here, and today I want to show you a tool that we've built together with Phil Layer from the vendor agency PLEC. So first of all, hi Phil.
Hi, Jacob. Thanks for having me.
So I decided basically to brought you here because you are the vendor specialist, and we'll be showing our tool that we've built together. So again, it's a vendor BI tool, a reporting solution for all of the vendors that are selling on Amazon. I thought that you'd be a great guest also to answer all of the questions that I have for the showcase. So maybe let's briefly talk about the tool first. So again, this is the reporting tool that we've built together. It's based on the Power BI technology. So there's a lot of customization that is available for the users. Basically, when it comes to all of the dashboards, charts, everything, again, we'll show it in a moment. And when it comes to the data, that's very important that we are getting data from SP API when it comes to all of the orders, sales, everything, and the advertisement API. All of the data is being downloaded there periodically. Therefore, you can do very interesting things with that. So, Phil, why don't you share your screen and give us a little bit of the walkthrough on the dashboards?
Yeah, sure. So let me share my screen real quick. So for all of the viewers that have seen your video before where you've introduced the tool, they will be a bit surprised because we have been working on a design update of the tool. And I'm really happy to share this with you guys. But to be honest, it's still in the making. So there might be one or the other hiccup. So this is basically a beta. But nevertheless, I wanted to share this with you because I think it looks awesome. So here we go. Let me jump into the full screen mode. And this is our new look. So it has changed a lot since the last time we've looked at it. So we got rid of this, very basic and classic Power BI look and implemented our own version interpretation of a modern looking dashboard tool. How do you like it so far?
Oh, for me, it's amazing, right? I mean, it's completely different. It has this very nice design touch. And as you mentioned, it doesn't really, when you see it, you don't really think about the classical Microsoft Power BI tools. So I think it's awesome, especially that you can also display it in a browser.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we wanted to make sure that it's a bit of a fresher look, and we're still experimenting with some different fonts and colors, but I think we're on the right way, and I think it's already time to be shared with you guys. So you asked me to walk you through some our dashboard and the things that we are looking at. So first of all, on the left-hand side, we have the opportunity to switch between countries and vendor accounts. So, obviously, we're looking at the test vendor data here. And usually what you would see if you are managing different accounts in different countries, you could switch between your countries or look at them all at the same time. So also this would be possible. So it's pretty easy. It's a drop-down menu where you can easily click the country and the account you want to look at. Then secondly, we have the date filter. This is also straightforward, as you know it from basically any tool that you are using. What then is interesting is that you can choose the comparison period. So the comparison period that you're looking at here is the one that will be used for all of the analysis. So for this bar chart here, or then for these tables here, the prior period is defined by what you are choosing here. And we want to start with the prior month. So usually it loads much faster than this, but as you know, as soon as you start to record, everything slows down for some reason, like in any good showcase. So, and to make sure and to easily know what kind of period you're comparing to, it always shows what the actual comparison period is. So you can be sure that you know what kind of data you're looking at. And then on the next box is you can choose between brands that you have. So this is something that I am really fond of and I do really like, because the retail analytics solution that Amazon provides, you don't have that kind of possibility on the user interface, and also subcategory that you can define yourself. For the test data in the vendor, this is empty right now. And you could also filter on ASIN level, or you could even put several ASINs in here. All right, so this is what we call the filter bar. And then on top, we have the visual representation of how In this case, your month went. So this is not too providing too much insight, except for the fact that you did a bit worse than in the month before. So July was not as good in sellout as in the June, because this is your comparison period. You can easily drop down and drill down on the month, which we do here. And then you have this on a day level, which I really like if I look at a single month. And then let's have a look at the tables here. Like this is the classic retail analytics table that most of you do remember from the good old times back when we had brand analytics, which got sunset last year. And we try to bring it back with this tool. And also you have the advertising data right next to it. And this is completely new to you, because until today, you don't have advertising data within your Vendor Central console. And then at the bottom of this is where it gets really fancy, because all of the KPIs that we have on above here, we can have in a visual way. So we can have an analysis or a visual representation of the KPI throughout the selected time period. So this is the average that we can see here, and this is where we can see single data point throughout the period that we've selected. So basically, this is on daily level here, what we can see. The visual representation of those KPIs that we have above here, and I will tell you about the difference to retail analytics in a second. We have two more contents below that. So first of all, we have the inventory value, and this is empty right now. And this has to do with the fact that we have dummy data in this report right now. So usually what you would see here is what ASIN has an inventory on a certain level, and our dummy data only reaches to we can see it here to the 27th of July, and we have selected as last day the 31st. That's why there's no table in here. Later on, I will show you, I will change the time period so we'll see what's in here. And then we have the representation of top selling table, where we have details on ASIN level, how those numbers that we see above here are put together.
So, Phil, when it comes to the retail analytics report, what's the actually biggest difference between this report and this dashboard that we have here?
So the biggest difference is that you don't have to run 4 or 5 different reports to get this data that you have here at a single glance. Like, our main goal is to save time for us and our clients when it's about managing your accounts, right? So our goal was to have the opportunity or the chance to grasp how the account is going with a single look. So if you would use retail analytics to get this over, you would have to run a sales report, you would have to run an inventory report, you would have to run a traffic report and a net PPM report just to see this data. And then put it all together, like you would have to download it into Excel and then put them all together. Like, it's a lot of work, right? And therefore, like with this overview, would you have all this data at one glance? And this is awesome. I love it. And it even gets better, because the reports I just taught you about they are missing the advertising data. And we also have the advertising right in this view. And this is awesome. So you would have to leave retail analytics or Vendor Central, go to the advertising console, and then run your reports again just to get this data. So it's really time consuming. And what we have here is a time saver, like we haven't seen this before. So we have this at one glance. And what I really like about it is this view. Like, this is from the good old times in brand analytics, right? Like, before they sunsetted and introduced retail analytics, we had this data looking like this in brand analytics. And this was awesome. I really loved it, because it gave me a much clearer view on my account. So this is why we reintroduced this kind of table and this kind of data. And we also reintroduced 2 KPIs that Amazon does not provide anymore. And this is the conversion rate that we do a calculation on units based, because we don't get the customer orders, so we have to use units for it. And as well as, and this is the one I really, really love, this is the average selling price that we brought back, and Amazon does not share this with you anymore in retail analytics. And this is, from my perspective, is especially one when it comes to negotiations. I really love this one because this helps me prove my point when it comes to price increases, cost price increases, stuff like that. So this is one of the main differences between retail analytics and our vendor BI.
Got it. Thanks for explaining this. And now, again, going back more into details when it comes to all of the KPIs, could you maybe explain those KPIs basically to the beginner? And from the vendor specialist perspective, can you tell why they are so important to you?
Sure. Like, I look at them in order to understand if my business is running well or not, if I'm facing issues, if I need to look for new measures. So what I look first at is I usually look at shipped cost of goods sold. And then I know, like, for example, in this month, okay, it's a bit less than the month before, -3%. Okay, this might be due to some campaigns, or sometimes it's just a month that is worse than the one before, especially in the summertime. This is something that you could see, and this is like something not too worrying about. And then this gives me a feeling for where my business is going. And that's why, firstly, I always look at the cost of goods sold. This so how I know what the sellout is. Then I'm looking at glance views. This tells me what the traffic on my products is. And then I tend to look at the conversion rate. This is something that you don't have anymore in retail analytics. And that's why I thought it's so important to bring it back in order to understand, like, do we have issues with certain products? Like, this is something that helps me identify if I have issues with top selling products. Like, if this is falling, I know where to look at. And this is also something that we provide on ASIN levels. So if we have top selling ASINs with a decreasing conversion rate, I know, like, there's something going on. And this helps me identify potential risks in a very early stage. And that's why I love this KPI. And also, one that's really important is the average inventory value. So this is something that helps me identify, like, do we have enough sellout in order to, or in relation to the demand in the market? Is there something that we need to do in order to reduce it? Especially when we look back at the same time of the year last year, many vendors were complaining, oh, Amazon is not ordering anymore. So we really worry about our business on Amazon. Like, if they would have taken a look at the average inventory value, they would have understood that this was something, a measure from Amazon. They wanted to reduce inventory value. So they kept selling the products they already had, and they reduced their reordering of the products that were not running too well, like not the A products. They kept on ordering them, but B and C products, they were reducing the orders for them and were focusing on reducing the inventory value. And so this example, you understand how these KPIs help me understand my business better.
Thanks a lot for explaining all of those KPIs and dashboards to us. And now I want to ask you for more like real world scenarios. So let's assume that your sales are dropping and you're not selling that much. Something is wrong, basically. You see a lot of red colors on those dashboards. So how would you do a deep dive here?
All right, that's an awesome question, because this is something that we were actually facing in many situations. And I think also many other vendors are facing this situation where you need to find out what's going on. Why am I losing sales? So what I would do is, first of all, you're saying, right, like, if I have red colors, I know there's something to do. So I can go down to my product table. So let's move this back where it is. As you can see, this is dummy data. So we are selling incredible steel chips, right? All right, let's have a look at them. So what this table tells me, and this is something that you also do not have in retail analytics, and this is one of the things that was very important for me to introduce in this table, is that we can see the performance of our sellout compared to the previous year. And so I can see, especially, for example, like, right, exactly, the second top selling product is a product that was losing sales by 41% compared to the year before. So I'm losing sales for that month, I'm losing 10K in sales. And if you remember, like the sales numbers that we have, like if we would have that 10K more, we would be on the level of the month before. So let's have a look. What I can do here is, first of all, I can easily copy this value, put it here, paste it, enter, and then I can see the data. It's loading in the background. As I said before, since we're recording, it's slowed down. All right, so we can see in the month before, we also did like 14,000 in sales. So, but we learned that the prior year we did much better. So let's select the prior year, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're down 42% on that product. So let's have a look. What is the issue? So first of all, I would look into the average selling price. It's basically the same. So price is not an issue. Is it a conversion rate? No, it does not seem to be an issue. It's kind of the same. So let's have a look. What is our problem? So we have more data here that you do not have in retail analytics. So we have this sales trend here. So there's nothing too worrying. And our revenue share, 3.6%, is fine. The net PPM, something that you as a vendor should be very much aware of. 22%, it's on the lower end, I would say. But then I can see, okay, maybe here's the problem. Our glance views, this is something, like we lost visibility. Like we're down 48% in visibility, and this might be the issue. So let's have a look at what do we spend on advertising on this product. Oh, it's only $170 that we spend in the last month for a product that is doing sales in like 14K. So this is something that I would know now. Okay, I need to increase my ad spend in order to drive traffic to my product, because basically the loss of traffic also led to a loss in sales. And this is how I would know that I would have, or how I could improve this product again. Maybe one more important thing to add is like the advertising data. If we would have the advertising data in our database, this would have helped me to identify this much easier. But like, as most of you know, Amazon only provides advertising data for the last 65 days. And therefore, it's not available to us. And one of the key benefits of using our vendor BI tool is we start storing this data. So if we fast forward into the next year in 2024, we will have this data available to compare it. And then our analysis will be even easier, because we will store this advertising data as long as you work with the tool. So this is also another key benefit.
Awesome. Phil, thanks a lot for sharing all of the details. And again, I think that especially nowadays, when data is such a powerful resource, I mean, they say data is a new oil. I think that without it, without such a tool, when you actually also store additional information over time, you can't really make any good decisions, especially when you are a vendor and when you are running your business on such a volume.
Definitely.
So just by the end of the video, I wanted to mention that, as Phil said before, currently this is very early stage of the software. So if you're interested into having this in your organization, you can just let us know. I'll leave a link in the comments where you can just submit the form. Then me and Phil will jump on a call with you and we'll set up the infrastructure for you. And in the future, of course, this will be more available just for one click. That's what we are working on right now. So if you have also any questions regarding the dashboards, regarding the KPIs, please leave them in the comments. Me or Phil will be answering them. And yes, Phil, what's next? I know that we have a couple of more dashboards and we want to record also videos on that.
Exactly. There's so much more to show, and we'll do more deep dives on the dashboard solution that we're working on. So please feel free, if you have any comments on this and you would like to know more about certain KPIs or more dashboards. There's more to come. We're talking about advertising. We were talking about portfolio management, like how to drive your business profitably will be a topic. We'll also jump into advertising with different reports. So it will be interesting, I'm promising. So you can look forward to our new videos. Until then, thanks for having me, Jakob.
Bye-bye.